Hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face, my card making space, in another video using another one of the coordinating die sets for the Tim Holtz stamp sets. This is going to be my second video. I've already, by the time this goes up, the other video will have been up. So I already posted a video using a couple other coordinating die sets. Simon Says Stamp partnered with Tim Holtz to make some coordinating dies for a lot of his previously released stamp sets. I'll have links to those categories in the description box below the video. Worth checking out. I've done several videos, planning on doing more because a lot of these sets I already had, and then some of the die sets were sent to me. The newer ones I ordered because I needed to have them in my life because I don't like the fussy cut if I can avoid it. So combine that with some oldie but goodie favorites. In fact, I think everything I used again. Yes, other than another piece of the new pattern paper. I'm using it. Go me. Anyway, everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I do get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. It is what helps pay the bills, keeps the lights on, keeps my heaters going, enables me to keep bringing out content. And yeah, let's get into making the card. So I started off with a couple of oldie but goodie favorite die sets and a mess, as usual. Most of what I'm using, this heart set I'm not using. I thought about it and then didn't end up using it, but I'll put a link to it at the end of the supply list for anyone wanting to check it out. It's a great set. I do plan on using it. We'll get to it. Anyway, I have the Iceland Poppies wafer dies, which I've used many times. Love this little die set. Funny enough, I was inspired by the pattern paper that I didn't use. I used a different pattern on this card. I've mentioned that before because I do have a soft spot for pattern paper. And a lot of the time, even though I may not end up using it, I'll be inspired by it, whether it's the colors or there'll be a pattern or something else. And in the case of the palette paper specifically, like the red collection, there were little images of some poppies on there, like just and like really deep red, obviously. And I was like, ooh, I can do that. I can make that. So I die cut some distressed watercolor paper with the little Iceland Poppies wafer dies. And I stuck the die cut pieces to a grip mat. And then I added several colors of positively saturated inks. So for the stems, I used Field and then Kale. And then for the petals, I was using Apple, Cranberry, and Cherry. And pretty much just slopping the color on. Because one, these inks smooth out. They dry back and soften a little bit. Doesn't need to be perfect. I'm going to splatter water on this. I'm going to add other splatter, all the things. So it doesn't need to be, super perfect. For the flower centers, I used Walnut Stain Distress ink. And then, took my little distress sprayer, held it a couple feet above my grip mat, sprayed water on these, and then just picked up that water with a paper towel. So it'll add a little bit of just texture. And then I set those pieces aside to dry. And then for my little extra greenery piece, I had die cut some green leaf cardstock with the Lovely Leaves wafer die. And I just left it in the cardstock. It's so much easier to add ink. Sometimes I forget to do this. But I was like, it is so much easier when you just leave it in there when you're putting ink on like this. So then you're not dealing with, really delicate spots and thin areas, things like that. So I use those same two greens and just slap the ink on there, pop that out of its cardstock, and we'll come back to that later. So these die cut pieces for my little poppies have dried because you want to make sure that the ink is dried, as well as if you do, splatter with water or splatter with whatever, that everything's dry, because otherwise your glue's not going to hold. Ask me how I know. These are super easy to assemble. It's just a couple layers for each bloom, and then the little flower center, and then there's the little curved piece that's like a the petal that's facing you, basically. So adhere those together, attach them to a stem, and then repeat. So I glued all these together with just a little craft tacky glue, and they're so cute. They're so cute. I love poppies. I think they're just the prettiest little flowers. So I die cut this set twice. So I ended up with 4 blooms, 3 for the front of the card, 1 for the inside, of course. And then the Tim Holtz set I'm using is the Correspondence set. I mentioned this. Yes, I will have mentioned this in the previous video. Some of his stamp sets come like that, where all the stamps are still inlaid in the rubber sheet. They're all like die cut out of there. You just got to pop them out. Sometimes I weed out that piece and just, have the stamps. But sets like this, I actually like leaving it that way, even though it's sort of annoying putting the stamps back, like trying to fit them into place. Sometimes satisfying, sometimes annoying. But I like to keep that like trash piece because it shows me immediately. It's like, oh, I'm missing a stamp, because sets like this that have, I don't even know how many stamps are in the set. There's a lot. So, the stamp set. And then there is now coordinating die set. So I'm stamping some of the images from that set onto some ivory cardstock with Distress Archival Black Soot ink. Because that detail, so crisp, so good. And move the cardstock so I could stamp. I love this little arrow in this set. So stamp that multiple times, actually. Same with the little airplane like stamp image, because the coordinating wafer die cuts it as a postage stamp. Perfection. Perfection. No notes. So I'd done that. I'd also stamped one of the images with, pretty sure I'd used like the Cranberry ink. And then the one little like kind of green flourish I'd stamped with the Kale. Yeah, the Kale ink. And then I used Simon's A2 Postage Rectangles wafer dies again, because I love this die set. So I die cut a rectangle from some more ivory cardstock, and this time I'm using the Delicate Lattice stencil. So I stuck that on top, and then I blended the field ink over that. Blending doesn't need to be perfect, because again, we're going to be gluing bits and stamping things and splatter and all the stuff. So I just blended this onto that cardstock, and I'd also used the largest A2 postage rectangle, and that's what I die cut one of the pattern papers from the new idea-ology palette paper pack. I talked about that a little bit in the previous video. Tim Holtz has an entire live stream that he did explaining these paper packs, and right now we have the 3 colors available: red, pink, and orange. And I used a couple of the pink papers in the previous video. This one was the red one. I really like this ledger paper, so that's what the side I chose to use. And I die cut it with that postage rectangle wafer die. And then I'm adding a little bit of grunge with that walnut stain distress ink and my little mini blending foam. So adding it to everything, because once I start, I can't stop. So I edged those die cut pieces with that. I added it to the greenery bit. I'm even going to add it to the flowers just a little bit, just kind of more on the edges, a little bit on the stems. It just, brown on red, in a lot of ways, it doesn't necessarily add a grunge element. In some ways, it just kind of deepens, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I do that every once in a while, especially if I'm trying to like darken up, if I'm mixing inks or paints or what have you. Sometimes I just add a bit of brown to it because it just works with red. Anywho, added this to all my little die cut ephemera. I love it. I mentioned this in the other video as well. Stuff like this is just fun to do, like stamp out, just stamp on scraps. Stamp on scraps, stamp on pattern paper, what have you. And then you can die cut them, and you can do things, add little bits of ink to them if you want, a little bit of paint, whatever. And just stick them all in a dish. Whether you have a project planned or not, it's fun to have just a little pile of them ready to go. And then you just slot them on to the next project. So I added that ink to all of those little die cut pieces. And then some of them I also blended on the Pawsitively saturated ink. So I used the field ink on that like little greenery flourish, and then decided to make these little postage stamps green too, because why not? Why not? I don't know what it is with the whole like postage stamp thing. I'm obsessed. I I love them. They just, to me, just makes sense because, you know, mailing your cards, etc. We use actual postage stamps. But the whole postage like theme, I'm here for it. I love it. Anyway, went in with the Apple ink and added it here and there as well. And then I'd kind of roughly like laid everything out. Nothing's adhered. I do this especially when I'm doing more like collage style cards like this. Kind of lay everything out. I took a photo of that. I do that too when I have like, say, just a bunch of pieces that I'm, you know, assembling on a card, what have you. I I will lay everything out, kind of figure out a rough idea of where I want it to go, take a photo of it, because the minute I take it off of there, I'm going to forget all of it. So I had taken a photo of it, and then I took my background and stamped one of the stamps from the Correspondence set onto it. And then that one I had stenciled, I stamped a couple more stamps using the archival block set ink. And then on my card base, which is more just ivory cardstock, this is a top folding A2 note card, so 4¼ by 5½ inches. Just put post-it tape at the score line so that I don't get ink past it. I used the delicate Lattice stencil again and the field ink and just lightly blended that onto the inside of the card. And then now it's time to assemble my card front. So I had my phone propped up off screen with the photo I had taken of my layout, and I'm just basically following it. So adhering all these little bits onto this card. And yeah, like I said, it's fun. It's fun. Like, I don't do like kind of the grunge or the vintage that often, but every time I start dipping my toes in it again, I was like, this is fun, and I don't want to stop. I want to do it over and over and over again. Anyway, got my little bits adhered this. I was originally going to like trim down this die cut with green, only use just a little bit of it, but I just loved how it looked, and I was like, let's use the whole thing. Why not? So getting all my little flowers adhered, and then all of my other little ephemera bits, just kind of tucking them in here and there. And then that love you sentiment, it's called Showboat Love You Wafer dies. The words I die cut from scraps of the same ivory cardstock, and then the outline I die cut from black cardstock, and then just layered them together. And then decided to adhere the little arrows, like crisscrossing behind it, because I could. So I'm going to pop that into place with some thin foam squares just to give it just a smidge of dimension. The other thing I was kind of enjoying about this card is it looks like it's very dimensional, but it's not super thick because I didn't use any foam tape, anything like that, really. So my last few little die cut pieces and whatnot are going to go onto the inside of the card just to finish it off. And then I'm going to add splatter, of course. And I'd already adhered my sentiment, and I didn't want to get a bunch of splatter on it. So I just die cut a scrap of copy paper with the outline of that wafer die, laid that on top. So that masks it off, so I'm not going to get a bunch of splatter on top of it. And then I'm starting with the Pawsitively perfect white splatter, stirring that up really well, and then splattering this all over this card. And some of it won't stay like stark white, because it will absorb the ink, especially on the red. Because red ink, I've talked about red. Red likes to be just what it is. And as that splatter's drying, it's like absorbing that red ink. I'm fine with it because there's still texture there, and it looks good, and I like it. So I let it dry, and as you can see now, it's not like super stark white anymore. And then I'm gonna add some black splatter. Pawsitively perfect black splatter. And this stuff needs to be stirred up as well. The pigments settle to the bottom. So I stirred it up, splattered it, immediately cleaned things up, immediately put the lid on so I don't knock that over, because that would not be a good time. This stuff is insanely pigmented. So I let everything dry. And then my final little embellishment is some cherry Dazzling gems, which always look like almost black when you're looking straight down when my camera's filming like this. But when you see it in real life, when I tilt it in the light, they're very pretty. They're not black. Although I thought about adding the black Positively Dazzling gems instead, but the red won out because it just kind of plays nicely off of those bright red poppies and the red ink and whatnot. So sprinkled these rather liberally around this card. Just no rhyme or reason, just wherever I thought they would look good. And then once I was happy with that, pick them up with my embellishment wand, glue them into place with a dab of craft tacky glue, and that finished off the card. So texture and color and splatter and little like postage edges. And I used a bit of that pattern paper. So, like I mentioned in the intro, I will have links to all of the things in the description box below, so you can check it out if you're interested. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping and commenting. It helps a lot. I very much appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you, and I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!